Back tonight on In Focus. All right, let's continue a little bit more then on these developments within the taxi industry. Joining us now to outline their understanding of the taxi industry reform plan is Theo Malele, spokesperson of the National Taxi Association. Theo Malele, good evening, and thank you very much for your time and joining us tonight here on In Focus. Are you feeling at all left out in these conversations around the formalization and the number of different modalities that this is going to take, and the shade, for example, of subsidies that are being explored currently?
Well, good evening, Thabo. Although I'm actually struggling to hear you, but I had, some of the snippets of what you were talking about. But perhaps let me first say that the National Taxi Alliance is an independent organization, and which is there for its members' wishes and aspirations to be articulated and defended by its leadership, the leadership that is democratically elected every 5 years. So yes, we do have challenges within the industry. If I heard you correctly talking about the subsidies of the taxi industry. Yes, indeed, we are of that strong view that the taxi industry has to be subsidized. The manner in which we are being handled by government, it's not okay, because, we currently, the rate at which the fuel price has been moving, it's, we cannot even plan properly to actually come up with a strategy of trying to become profitable as a business. And we are also mindful for our customers who are, the poorest of the poor, and we would not, want to get them to pay more, as they are currently paying over 60% of their disposable income on public transport. So we're trying by all means to try and accommodate them at all costs. And this then necessitates that government should intervene and ensure that perhaps some of the levies on fuel are actually being relaxed in order for us to can breathe.
So the process of these subsidies, the government saying the important cornerstone of the transformation process into a government that subsidizes the taxi industry is that the taxi industry must be formalized. So regulating this industry is a very important part of it. How involved are you in that process of engaging in the finalization of the implementation of the policies around the formalization of the taxi industry?
Yeah, look, we are, in support of the formalization of the taxi industry. But then government cannot, be talking in tongues in relation to the formalization of the taxi industry. It has to actually make, its intentions clear so that the taxi industry can then imbibe in the whole process. But what we are of the view is that if we can corporatize, the industry, if that's what government wants, or we can even, modernize the industry, we can even professionalize the industry. If you can look at the model that we are currently utilizing in the Gauteng province, speaks directly to all these fundamentals. So this tells you that the National Taxi Alliance is indeed fully prepared and cognizant of the fact that the taxi industry cannot be stagnated and not be moving forward. All that it would take, it's a sober leadership, and we need leadership that has a vision and not leadership that would be, blowing hot and cold, from time to time. We are prepared to transform if that's what government wants.
Now, how do you see your role then playing out here? Because, for example, you've got one association who the minister says are the custodians of the standard constitution and code of conduct of how, I suppose, the taxi industry should regulate and conduct itself, and members of the associations should conduct themselves. Do you feel left out in that conversation? Are you a part of it? What is your role there?
Now, look, the code of conduct, we do have currently a code of conduct within the taxi industry that is being practiced by different taxi associations, and it is actually inscribed in their constitutions. But what I do not clearly understand is the fact that government wants the taxi industry to be one. How on earth do they expect us to be one? You have so many denominations, and yet there is only one God. Why don't we have just one church? Because there's only one God. Why do we have so many political parties? We also have a right to exist, to coexist, and nothing actually precludes us from that.
Theo Malele, I appreciate your time. Let's leave it there
It's only a
for
pleasure.
today. Theo Malele, spokesperson of the National Taxi Association.